Let's celebrate Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain with stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, resolutely all one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Good morning. You are watching Parliament Television. Thank you so much for still being with us. Bells are ringing. The quorum hasn't yet been constituted. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament must be present for any business to transact. And so once the quorum has been constituted, we expect business of the House to commence. Just now we look at some of the business that is expected to be considered on the floor of the House today.
Yes, Matimba, we have one question for oral answer, understanding order 80, and one question for oral answer, understanding order 82. And we have 2 committee reports and 5 bills. And some of the details of the question for oral answer, we have a question, understanding order 82, we have a question coming from Kamfinsa Member of Parliament, Mr. Christopher Kangombe, and he wants to pose a question to the Minister of Finance and National Planning, whether government will pay terminal benefits to the following, to the over 350 former employees of Invest Trust Bank PLC following the takeover of the bank by the Bank of Zambia, and if so, when the former employees will be paid.
One question for oral answer, understanding order 80, is expected to come from Pemba Member of Parliament, Mr. Lamek Hamwata. He's directing his question to the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. He wants to find out a question in 3 parts: whether the government has any plans to construct a correctional facility in Mpongwe district, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and what the estimated cost of the project is.
Matimba, maybe also to mention that there's a ministerial statement expected to be rendered by the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, and this is on the ongoing investigations in the murder of the Director General of the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
And the first committee report on the order paper today is expected to be moved by Siavonga Member of Parliament, Mr. Dalius Mulunda, urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts, on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 for the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 31st July 2024.
Another motion to be moved by Member of Parliament, Mr. Freddy Chatila, and he wants to urge the House to adopt the report of the Planning and Budgeting Committee on the 2024 Mid-Year Budget Performance Report for the third session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 31st July 2024. And thereafter we have 5 government bills, and the first bill, these actually are going to be considered at different stages. And the first bill is the Kazungula Bridge Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2024, to be considered at second reading stage.
We also have the Human Rights Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2023, to be considered at committee stage.
We also have the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024, to be considered at committee stage also.
The House is also expected to consider the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024, which is coming at committee stage.
And thereafter there will be a resumption of committee work of the Minerals and Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2024.
Yes.
So this is what is expected in the House today. In total we have 2 questions for oral answer. Understanding Order 80 we have 1, and Understanding Order 82 we have 1. Then we have a ministerial statement to be rendered by the Minister of Home Affairs on the ongoing investigations in the matter of the Director General of the Independent Broadcasting Authority. And Matimba, Her Honor the Vice President is expected to move a motion.
This is to suspend Standing Orders 26(1) and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024, be suspended to enable His Excellency General Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024.
So this is what the composition of the order paper for today is like. In total 5 bills, 2 questions, 1 ministerial statement, 1 motion to be moved by Her Honor the Vice President, and 2 committee reports coming for consideration on the floor of the House. So the bells are still ringing. A quorum is yet to be constituted for business to commence. It is a requirement that 1/3 of the House should be present for business of the House to continue or to commence in this case.
Order, honorable members, we are behind time. Order. Honorable members, I have one announcement to make. The announcement is that I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Ndaveni Academy School from Avondale, Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. You may take your seats. Thank you. Notes of motion, Her Honor the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that standing orders 26, 1 and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia, standing orders 2024, be suspended to enable His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024.
The question is that standing orders 26.1 and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia, standing orders 2024, be suspended to enable His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024. Any debate? Her Honor, the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, as the House is aware, His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of Burundi, will deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024. Madam, Standing Order 26.1 provides for the suspension of business for 20 minutes at 10:40 hours on Friday, while Standing Order 55 outlines the order of business of the House for each sitting day. It is necessary to suspend these standing orders to accommodate the special address by His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to the House, and to enable the House to debate the motion of thanks to His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye's special address. Madam Speaker, this is a procedural and non-controversial motion. I therefore urge all honorable members to support it. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Any further debate? I've seen several indications. Honorable members, this is a procedural motion, and we need to have more time to debate other matters that are on the order paper. So I'll just recognize one from the left, and then we wind up debate. The honorable member for, I wanted to call on a female, but she has withdrawn. The honorable member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is always good to have visitors in our midst. And Madam Speaker, some book says a house that does not receive visitors is a cursed house. And our country is privileged to receive a rare visitor from Burundi. Madam Speaker, just like the Vice President has put it, this motion is non-controversial. But I've got just a few things to say. That the standing orders we are suspending must benefit members in this House. For example, one of the standing orders we've suspended is to allow for members to debate. Yeah. Meaning that your members must be given ample time to do what they followed here. And from what I know, we came to this House to represent our people through talking. And talking must be our hobby, and we must be permitted to do so at all times. Madam Speaker, what do we have to learn from Burundi? We've got a lot to learn from Burundi in terms of the agriculture sector. And I know that Zambia is also trying to diversify into the agricultural sector to try and compensate for other sectors which are not doing very fine for now, like the mining sector. Burundi is looking at growing its agricultural sector to almost about 6%, which is a very huge achievement if they did that. And I will encourage our minister here to learn from that country. Another thing that, Madam Speaker, we must learn is the coexistence that inspires the people of Burundi. We need also to learn from our colleagues there what has kept them together and how they are managing to move together as a country. Madam Speaker, I know that time is of essence. May I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Her Honor the Vice President, winding up debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I would like to thank the honorable member that has debated on this motion and indeed acknowledge that many others may have wanted to say almost the same things. Thank you very much for the support, honorable members. It is indeed important to acknowledge that when visitors come, we show our very best and reality. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that Standing Orders 26.1 and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. The next item is urgent matters without notice, but in view of the fact that we are rising tomorrow, so even if you raise these matters, it will not make a difference because the 48 hours will not be within the term before we adjourn. So I will just as a matter, I will ask Honorable Member for Mwasabombwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Mwasabombwe an opportunity to ask a matter of without notice. Madam Speaker, for the past 7 days or so, Mwasabombwe General Hospital has been load-shaded, and yet the Minister of Energy on several times on this floor of the House, he has assured the nation to say health institutions are not supposed to be load-shaded. Madam Speaker, because of this load-shedding which has occurred for the past 7 days in Mwasabombwe, we had 7 patients who were in a very critical condition, and yesterday one of the patients lost her life, which is a very sad moment. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I rather ask you for the guidance into this, because the minister has assured the nation to say load shedding to health institutions will not be tolerated. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Member, you can put in a question. The Honorable Member for Nakonde.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. The matter I wish to raise is directed at the Minister of Energy. Madam Speaker, yesterday, ERB adjusted the fuel pumps. Madam Speaker, I think ERB has taken Zambians for granted, because, Madam Speaker, we can't have a government where what they know is just increasing. From the time, Madam Speaker, this government formed, they found fuel at 17 kwacha. Today, Madam Speaker, fuel is at 34 kwacha. Again, our Zambians have been subjected to a suffering. The people of Nakonde, Madam Speaker, they are businessmen. This government promised us that they are going to reduce the cost of doing business. Today, they have continued increasing fuel pumps. And yet, Madam Speaker, in opposition, they had a solution. Where have they taken that solution to? We want to find out, were they ready or not? Because, Madam Speaker, the ordinary Zambians, again, they have continued to be going to bed without food. I want to find out, Madam Speaker, if this government has got any plans towards the increments that they are doing each and every day over fuel, so that the Zambian people, Madam Speaker, because we are not planning each and every time, every month, Madam Speaker, they are increasing. What is the problem?
The honorable member, your time is up. You were debating. The next honorable member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my urgent matter of notice is, since it's called to the Minister of Finance, Minister of Livestock. Madam Speaker, many times we have called councils to be inefficient and they have failed to perform. This is the third quarter. We're going to the third quarter of the year, and the Ministry of Finance through National Road Fund has funded the councils. There is a 3 million which will be, I think, it's in the budget for councils, which is, it's a good, very brilliant idea coming from the executive. So is the Ministry of Livestock. They've got also a brilliant idea. In fact, all ministries funding councils a certain amount of money. Madam Speaker, the problem is, the councils cannot use this money. It's seated in the accounts and they're waiting for guidelines coming from the ministries. Only the Ministry of Sport has given the guidelines. Now, my question to the executive is, why are you sabotaging your own good, brilliant ideas? When are you giving these councils guidelines how to use this money? The abattoirs can't be worked on because the Ministry of Livestock have put a stop, even from the local collection of the money from those abattoirs. The councils can't use them. And this is across the nation, Madam Speaker. It's not only for Nyimba, but all the councils in the country. So my question is, why can't we just give the guidelines to these councils to start using the money which you have already given them? It's in the account. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Nyimba. You may put in a question as earlier guided. You just put in a question which can be handled when we come back in September. Nakonde was out of order. He exhausted his 2 minutes. He was debating. Honorable members, just for guidance, the standing orders that we have suspended today is just the break time, to take into consideration the break and also the routine of doing business. So it has nothing to do with the amount of time given to debate. Of course, when we extend standing orders, as we debate, we have to debate within the confines of our standing orders. We're avoiding being repetitive, because if honorable members are repeating themselves, then we have to make progress and move. We don't have the whole day. We have to manage our time within the time limits and in accordance with our standing orders. So honorable members, bear that in mind as you debate. I have permitted the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security to make a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a ministerial statement on the investigation into the murder of Mr. Guntila Mulea, Director General of the Independent Broadcasting Authority. Madam Speaker, the brief facts are that on 24th July 2024, at approximately 10:30 hours, Woodlands Police Station received a report through a phone call from a concerned member of the public in Njorwe area. He reported that at around 20 hours, he had observed a vehicle which appeared to be a Pajero with its doors open. Shortly thereafter, he heard gunshots. The following morning, on 24th July 2024, at approximately 10 hours, while on the way to work, he discovered a body of a deceased male person on the ground. The Zambia Police Service promptly visited the scene of the crime, located near Palavana Napsa housing complex along the gravel road. The body of the male person was found handcuffed in a pool of blood with 2 blade wounds, one on the back and another one on the head. Also found on the crime scene were 2 bullet cartridges and an identity card bearing the name DM Kunchila Mule, Director General, Independent Broadcasting Authority. A docket for the case of murder has been opened and investigations are currently underway. So far, 5 suspects believed to be connected to the murder have been apprehended. Among those apprehended are 2 regular police officers. One is a reserve police officer, while the other 2 are members of the public. One of the 2 members of the public is a staff member at the Independent Broadcasting Authority. All the 5 individuals are currently in custody and are being interrogated to gather more information. Madam Speaker, in addition to the arrest, the Zambia Police Service has seized 2 motor vehicles, 3 firearms, 2 pistols and an AK-47, cash totaling 129,300, assorted knives, and various electronic gadgets including phones, hard drives, and flash disks from the suspects. Further, police have recovered 1 VXL Prado motor vehicle belonging to the victim. The investigation into this matter is progressing well, and we would like to assure the public that they will be informed on any other outcomes in due course. However, we are mindful that premature disclosures of certain details may jeopardize the ongoing investigations. Forensic teams have been working meticulously to collect and analyze evidence from the crime scene. This includes physical evidence, digital footprints, and other relevant material that could aid in solving the case. Investigations have also conducted interviews with potential witnesses who may have seen or heard anything suspicious on the night of the murder. This includes local residents, passerbys, and anyone who may have had contact with Mr. Mulea on that day. We would like to extend our gratitude to the public for their cooperation and support during this investigation. Madam Speaker, the Zambia Police Service is collaborating with other security agencies and experts to ensure a comprehensive approach to the investigation. This includes utilizing advanced investigation techniques and technologies. The investigation is also focused on determining the motive behind this brutal act. While it is too early to speculate, every possible angle is being explored to understand why Mr. Mulea was targeted. We understand the public's concern and the desire for swift justice. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security assures the nation that no stone will be left unturned in bringing the perpetrators of this crime to justice. We are committed to ensuring that those responsible for this senseless act are held accountable. We also appeal to members of the public who may have any information related to this case to come forward and assist the police. Madam Speaker, let me also address the recent claims circulating in the media and among the public alleging that police officers are now involving themselves in criminal activities, including murder. These allegations have understandably caused concern and unease among the public, and it is imperative that we provide clarity and reassurance. First and foremost, we want to affirm that the Zambia Police Service is committed to upholding the law, ensuring public safety, and maintaining the highest standards of professional conduct. Madam Speaker, the vast majority of officers serve with integrity, dedication, and a strong sense of duty to protect and serve the citizens of our nation. While it is true that there are few bad elements denting the good image of the Zambia Police Service, government is putting measures to ensure that bad elements are rooted out of the system. Some of the measures being undertaken include strengthening the whistleblower policy and establishing integrity committees in all police districts, which shall employ every means available to defy the adage, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, the Zambia Police Service, supported by the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, remains resolute in its commitment to maintaining law and order. We also want to emphasize that any police officer found to be involved in criminal activities will face the full extent of the law. Our priority is to ensure the safety and security of all citizens and to uphold justice. Our sincere condolences go out to the family of Mr. Guntila Mulea during this difficult period. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement given by the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. The Honorable Member for Kabwata.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Madam Speaker, with the information that we have, actually one of the suspected killers happens to be a police officer and is believed to be a relative to one of the prominent lawyers that we have in the country. I've said the lawyer. I've said the lawyer.
Order.
I've said the lawyer. What's your problem?
Order, honorable members. Order. Order. If we continue like that, I'll skip. We go to the next item. May the honorable member for Kabwata continue.
Madam Speaker, like I was saying, one of the suspected killers is actually a brother to one of the prominent lawyers that we have in the country. Madam Speaker, these police officers are supposed to provide security to the citizens. What is happening now, the police officers are becoming a threat to this country.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to find out from the Minister of Home Affairs whether he can actually consider doing a due diligence for most of the officers that were employed between 2011 and 2021 to check their criminal background. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are not going to look at a particular period. We will look at all officers who are currently serving and ensure that we do not have rogue policemen in service. Obviously, Madam Speaker, there are allegations that during a certain period, there was no consideration for merit to be employed. But that will be an issue that will be considered by the police when they analyze all the evidence that is available and after assessing all the employees under the Zambia Police Service.
The Honorable Member for Lwen, as we ask these questions, let's bear in mind that the matter is still under investigations, and as the Honorable Minister said, if we say too many things, we might jeopardize the investigations. The Honorable Member for Lwen.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, obviously our hearts and thoughts go to the family of the late Mr. Muleya. The question that the people of Luena would like to pose is that, Honorable Minister, you have said that one of the items that was confiscated from the suspects that have been arrested is an AK-47 rifle, assault rifle. Has it, as at this stage, been established whether this was a police-issued AK-47 that had probably gone missing, or this was an illegal firearm that was in the possession of these alleged criminals? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I did indicate, we recovered a number of firearms, including an AK-47 from the suspects. Preliminary investigation indicate that these are illegal firearms that are being used by these criminals to perpetrate their criminal activities. The investigations are still going on, Madam Speaker.
I'm getting a bit uncomfortable proceeding with this matter. Is it okay if we just left it? Because the investigations are ongoing, and actually the ministerial statement was made following the request. There was several requests. There was the Honorable Member from Pika who raised it, then the Honorable Member for Chama South, and the Minister had already indicated that he was going to come before this House to make a ministerial statement. We have heard what is going on and that investigations are ongoing. So let's just make progress and go to the next item. Okay, depending on what type of questions you ask, then we will decide. The Honorable Member for Lundazi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is quite sad, very sad actually, that today in Zambia, lives of people can be taken just like that. I want to say sincere condolences to the family of Guntila Muleya, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Madam Speaker, the question that I have for the Minister of Home Affairs is that reports have been made about abductions for different people. Some are being trivialized, and now we have this death, which makes us seem as though we do not take some of the reports very serious. Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, our own JJ Banda here was also abducted, and you have never come to this house to give a report of what could have happened. Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, would you be in a position to handle these cases squarely, because this is what is leading to some of these happenings in our country? I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
A question. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I respond to this question, give me a bit of time to respond to the issue that have been raised by the Honourable Member of Parliament for Lundazi. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, these cases are totally different. Totally different. In this particular case, we have a death that has occurred. And we have evidence, conclusive evidence, that has led to us to pick certain individuals. And we have nothing to hide in this matter or any other case. Madam Speaker, for the other case which has been raised, which I know it has political overtones, I want to state, without any fear of any contradiction, that we have investigated this matter, and the Honourable Member of Parliament for Petauke has been cooperating with the police and gave a statement wherein he indicated that he doesn't know who abducted him. And we, hold on. That, Madam Speaker.
Order, honourable members, order.
Madam
Can we
Speaker,
listen to the answer?
Madam Speaker, for those who do not know police procedures, a person who is aggrieved goes to police and makes a statement, a recorded statement, and it is out of that statement that the police use to investigate. And as they investigate, other issues arise. In the statement that was made to the police, signed in the presence of his lawyers, there is no one who was mentioned in that statement. No one. And I can challenge you, unless you are malicious. We have the Freedom of Information Act now, which allows you to go to the police to check what was said at the police station. There is nothing. The only thing my brother has done is to go to court and make allegations against certain individuals. But that is not the statement that was made to the police. It is between him and those he has named in his civil process. That is where the difference is. But we have not concluded the investigations. The investigations are going on. Madam Speaker, I don't want to delve into certain matters. I know that even in this House, there are individuals, Madam Speaker, there are individuals who have been doing things which are inimical arising from this case. We don't want to start naming people here. We don't want to start naming people here. We should realize there are security institutions in this country. Don't think that what you are doing, we don't know. We have evidence on what you are doing. We know what you are doing. We know what evidence you are fabricating to incriminate certain individuals. Please be careful. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There is a point of order. What's the point of order, Honourable Member, for Mukushi? Is it north? South. Mukushi South.
Madam Speaker, in this Parliament we are told to be factual. The Honourable Minister has made a serious accusation that some of the Honourable Members of Parliament are here who are doing Kenyan style without providing evidence. Madam Speaker, is he in order to say some of us members of Parliament here, he knows what we are doing without mentioning. Is he in order, Madam Speaker, to insinuate that we are criminals here? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker. Under 71.
The Honorable Minister said that he knows that some members are involved, but there are investigations. I'm sure at the appropriate time, those people will be brought to book. They will be answerable. So it should be comfortable if we are not involved. But please, let's not politicize this issue, especially that there is a life that has been lost. Let's not politicize. That's why I was going to move to the next item. But honorable members, you are insisting that you want to ask questions. Honorable Member Fonkana, you have been anxiously waiting for this question.
Madam Speaker, thank you. Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, this is the second time you are coming to this House to give a statement in regards to abductions. The first time you came, you gave a statement when a young lady, Pamela Tsupa, was abducted. When you came to this House, the police were investigating the abduction of Pamela. Today, you've come to give a statement in an ongoing investigation of the slain Director General, Mr. Mlea. It is very clear there's a syndicate of abductions going on, and the only time there can be closure on such matters is when you come and give a statement, because it gives us an opportunity to ask you questions. The many times people like me have come to this House to ask for a statement in regards to the issue of Honorable JJ, the response was that this matter was under investigations. Now that you've given a statement on a matter that is under investigations, would you now tell this House that you come to this House and give a statement on the abduction of Honorable JJ Banda? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, this House has rules and regulations. A ministerial statement can only be given if I have been directed by Madam Speaker. I can't come on my own and say,
Honorable members, can we listen to the question, to the answers? Please restrain yourself. I don't know how strongly you feel or how angered you feel. Let's wait for the answers. The Honorable Minister is on the phone and is providing answers to your questions. Allow him. May the Honorable Minister continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm indicating the processes of this House. If I'm directed or there is a question and you direct me to issue a ministerial statement, I'll issue it. Those are the processes. I can't come on my own and start standing here and start issuing ministerial statement. That's not the rules. It's not like in a constituency where you go to a market and you start issuing instructions to marketeers. That's not the way we do things here.
The Honorable Member for Magoy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Buntile Mlea, born in Sinafara area of Gwembe district in Southern Province, a very well-disciplined gentleman, intelligent, hardworking, very humble, a man who wanted to contribute to the well-being of the children, his children, and the country at large. This is the kind of a gentleman we lost in this country. Madam Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, sometime last year, the IG, the Inspector General of Police, indicated that there were some junkies in the police service. And there was an uproar from our colleagues on your left. Madam Speaker, has the IG been vindicted in this? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I indicated, the majority of police officers in this country, men and women, are upright, professional in their conduct, and hardworking. But we have rogue police officers. Like these two police officers we are talking about, Madam Speaker, they are worse than junkies. These
the honorable members, please, let's not
these police officers, without delving into what they have done, they have tarnished the image of the institution. Here are individuals, Madam Speaker, after slaughtering this Guntira Muleya in cold blood, the same night, the following day, they are dancing in a disco at East Park with the girls, with a lot of money. Members of the public are now asking, is this the first time that these individuals have killed? No. The answer is for all of you to speculate. These are the ones who are giving a bad name to the Zambia Police Service. And as I indicated, we will do everything possible with your support to root out the rogue policemen. And there are many. There are many. And a number of these policemen are working in your constituencies. And I tend to think that you are aware of some of the reports that are coming from the public. I would like you to come out together with the public to identify these policemen who are not policemen. Because a policeman is supposed to provide security to the residents. But these are not policemen. They are not policemen. They are criminals, Madam Speaker. We can't allow policemen who are supposed to be guarding and providing security to our residents to do what they have done. The killing of Guntila Muleya is unusual in this country. As a policeman, you handcuff somebody, take them in the bush, and shoot them in cold blood. And make cover-ups. That is very unusual. We used to hear of such criminal activities in other countries, not here. It is our responsibility to ensure that this is capped. Let's not bring in partisan issues here. Let's work together for the sake of the country.
Thank you. There is an indication from the honorable member who is attending virtually. The honorable member for Chama North. You can unmute, honorable member. We can't hear you, honorable member. Please unmute. As he's trying to sort out himself, can we move to the next one? The honorable member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for your statement. I commiserate with the family of the late Guntira Muleya. Madam Speaker, of late, these criminal acts that usually are fatal have become rampant. I'm talking about abductions, Madam Speaker. Just yesterday, the family of a student at Mulungushi University found that their son was abducted and found dead the following day. And today we've won a student who has gone missing at Eden University. This is an addition to to the number of missing abductions that have been reported in the recent past. That is happening at a time when our country has spent so much money in upgrading the security infrastructure, and on that list is the safe seat security infrastructure. We have cameras, Madam Speaker, more especially in areas such as Lusaka, Kabwe, and Copper Belt. Madam Speaker, my question to the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Honorable Member, maybe before you ask the question, you have made allegations that there are several abductions. Do you have evidence? And if so, why don't you report that to the police? Because we keep on, we think we have information and then we hold it. The best, Honorable Member, if you have evidence, please report to the police. Help all of us. We want to get rid of these abductions. And if you have evidence, report to the police. You may proceed and ask your question.
Madam Speaker, I need your protection. Pantwala ntwala mu matololo oyo. Oyo ulela ndalira ndala ntwala.
Honorable Member from Bavala, please can you face this side? And do not interrupt, otherwise you will go and listen outside. May the Honorable Member from Pika continue.
Madam Speaker, my question to the Honorable Minister is, in the face of what is happening, like he has rightly indicated, the killing of Director Guntira Mulia is unprecedented. Is his office considering attaching security to these directors and others, including members of Parliament, for their safety? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are not going to consider that. It's not workable. We can't provide security, individual security to every senior members of the public. We cannot do that. All what we have to do is to ensure that we provide security for all members of the public, unless there's a specific and known risk to an individual, and there's a request that is being made. Madam Speaker, through you, may I also respond to the other issue which was raised, although you have indicated that if you have evidence, provide it. Madam Speaker, it is not appropriate for citizens to be making alarming statements. I'm aware of what he has said, wherein it is being stated that a number of abductions have taken place. But I also want to state that some of those so-called abductions are fake, Madam Speaker. We have evidence of a university student in Chongwe who was reported to have been abducted, when in actual fact it was a self-induced abduction with a view to solicit money from parents. We have evidence of Kablonga school girls who were said to have been abducted. We investigated, there were no abductions. And we are aware of certain situations where girls go out with their boyfriends and stay away, and then the friends allege that they have been abducted. Such situations are happening. It's unfortunate. But obviously there may be cases of genuine abductions that have taken place, and we have investigated, and cases have been resolved. So we should not be instigating fear in the minds of people. And yesterday, Madam Speaker, with your permission, using this platform, a very senior member of UKWA, it's called UKWA? Yes, UKWA. A president of a political party and a member of UKWA. What? UKWA bag. I don't know the name. Anyway, yesterday, that president was on radio and issued a statement that these heinous acts by policemen are a result of low salaries and wages, and that as long as we don't pay them well, they will continue committing these acts. A president of a political party who is a member of WUKWA, who is aspiring to be a president of the Republic of Zambia, to make such careless statement, encouraging my policemen and women to commit serious crimes. No wonder, I don't know the name, no wonder this individual, whenever there are elections, he gets 0, 0, 0 in every polling station. Because the people of Zambia know that this person is not capable of being a leader. How can you be encouraging men and women in uniform who are armed to encourage them to commit crime because the salaries are low? It's the responsibility of the highest order. Yeah. It should not be allowed, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There was an indication. You can stop the clock. Honorable Member Fonkana, you wanted to raise a point of order. What was the point of order?
I'll let it pass. Honorable Kampiongo, handle it.
No. There was an indication from the Honorable Member Fonkana. This is not like a relay where you pass on the button.
Boy, take it up.
So that
Madam
button
Speaker,
cannot...
let me raise my point of order.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, for the sake of record of this Parliament, Standing Order 134 does permit the minister or a minister to request the Speaker to come and give a statement. Standing Order 71 speaks to factuality, being factual in the submissions we make. In fact, I'm corrected, it's 137, Madam Speaker, if you're checking. The Honourable Minister of Home Affairs has indicated to this House that the statement he has given today came about because he was directed. Now, Madam Speaker, we know that you direct ministers to give statement, number one, arising from a point of order or arising from an urgent matter without notice. This House does not remember when the Speaker directed the minister to come and give this particular statement. Is he in order to come and mislead this House that his statement today is as a result of him being directed by you, when in fact he did this statement on his own volition and not as directed by yourself, when he has failed to make similar statements as that of Honorable J.J. Banda on his own volition? Is he in order to mislead this House? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Oh, the Honorable Member, this issue of the murder of the former IBA Director General was first raised by the Honorable Member from Pika. And I had ruled that the matter is still under investigations. Let's give the Honorable Minister time. At the appropriate time, he will come and give us a statement. Then the next day, the Honorable Member for Chama South, rose on a point of order again, on a matter of urgent public. Actually, it was a point of order. And by that time, I had indicated that the Honorable Minister has indicated that he is going to come to the House to come and give a statement. So it doesn't matter how the ministerial statement comes to the House. It can come through the matter of urgent matter without notice, or the Honorable Minister asking, following representations or concerns raised on the floor of the House. If the Honorable Minister is of the view that this matter attracts public opinion or public interest, the Honorable Minister has a right to come to request my office to come and deliver a ministerial statement. So let's not start now picking here and there, how did the statement come? Let's not be semantic. The ministerial statement has been delivered, and those honorable members who wanted the statement to be delivered, such as the honorable member from Pika, the honorable member for Chama South, have been satisfied that the ministerial statement has been delivered. So we have achieved the goal. What we wanted was to have a ministerial statement delivered. So I see no problem in the honorable minister coming to the House to deliver a statement. As I earlier indicated, the matter is under investigation, so we are constrained in terms of what type of questions we can ask. So let's make progress. Honorable member for Mambirima, what are you saying?
Madam Speaker, in your ruling, you have not stated if the Honorable Minister is out of order or not. We seek guidance.
So you want to be the presiding officer now? The Honorable Minister is definitely not out of order. Yes. So can we make progress? The Honorable Member for Pemba.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for the ministerial statement. In your ministerial statement, you stated that 3 firearms were discovered, that include 2 pistols and 1 AK-47. A motor vehicle was also recovered, handcuffs were recovered. Therefore, I would like to know whether the firearms and the handcuffs ownership have been identified. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I will be delving into the investigations that are taking place.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Mwembeji.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, you see, when you tell a child that I'm going to give you a good beating, then you don't give them a good beating. The next day you tell them, I'm going to give you a good beating. You don't give them a good beating. The child will think you are actually just joking. How long are you going to allow these people who have been employed, who are junkies in the system, to be working and perpetrating evil? Not only in the police service, in many ministries you find they are being employed, but you always say, no, we shall get rid of you. How long are we going to be waiting, seeing these people continue working and frustrating the government? Because what I can tell you, Minister, is that even from other ministries, when you want to push the agenda of the government, the same people, they are actually obstructing. You can tell by in this house the way they stand and talk, because you are just giving them threats. When are you going to handle these people so that they are out of the system? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you have heard the President on a number of occasions indicating that we shall be methodical and systematic in the way we deal with issues. If you hurry processes, you can end up punishing innocent individuals. We will be thorough, we will check in accordance with the rules and procedures currently obtaining under the police service. Once we are through with the processes, we'll be able to identify who is fit and who is not fit to be in the Zambia Police Service. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to pass my sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Muleya. Madam Speaker, the Minister in his statement cleared the air
on allegations made against his police officers. Now, there's information, Minister, in some media organizations and in the public that your ministry is actually investigating some senior government officers. So, Minister, is your ministry, are your officers investigating some senior government officers regarding this murder case? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, if my colleague listened to my statement, I did indicate that we have in our custody 2 police officers, 1 officer who is an employee of the IBA, another member of the public, and the police reserve. In the process of investigation, we may find others connected to this matter, whether in the public service or not in public service. For now, I have no other information to state that we are investigating senior public officials. I have no information to that effect. But we are investigating this particular matter. If anyone is found to be connected to this particular heinous murder, they will be brought to book.
The Honorable Member for Kanchibia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Honorable Minister, thank you so much for that statement. We want to join you in conveying our condolences to the bereaved family. Sometime last year, we did pass a resolution in this House, an amendment, and we removed death penalty off our statute books. And I want to understand that arises from our respect for the sanctity of life. What can we do going forward to ensure that we have deterrence to would-be offenders, especially for heinous crimes? Because for us, this is not just a murder. This was like an execution. And whether or not culprits, should still continue to enjoy, and sustained by taxpayers even after committing such heinous crimes post-conviction. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, with the knowledge I have, which without drawing you in, you are aware that a death sentence per se is not a deterrence to criminal activities like this one. There are other measures that can be put up by the government working together with society in order to provide the deterrence. A life sentence on its own is a deterrence enough. For me, bringing back death sentence is not the solution. Others would even be happier to commit a crime so that they are hanged, so that they go wherever they are supposed to go. So for me, I don't think that is the solution. There are other punishments which we can met out without bringing back the death sentence.
Had given an opportunity to the Honorable Member for Chairman North, but he hadn't unmuted himself. Honorable Member for Chairman North, are you ready to ask your question? Your cousins are asking what is unmuting in Tumbuka. Honorable Member, you have, because time is even up, we're just giving you I don't think we'll be able to hear the Honorable Member. Honorable Member, apologies. You need a few tutorials from our IT department. Please take advantage of that. Questions for oral answer, understanding order 82. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I have the honor and privilege to ask question number 411.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa asks two questions. Question number A, whether the government will pay terminal benefits to the over 350 former employees of Investors Bank PLC following the takeover of the bank by the Bank of Zambia? And B, if so, when will the former employees be paid? Answers, Madam Speaker. I wish to state that in accordance with the Bank of Zambia Act of 2020, the Central, this notwithstanding, all employees' claims in respect of severance or redundancy will be dealt with in the order of priority outlined in Section 132 of the Banking and Financial Services Amendment Act of 2020, as and when there is value realized from the liquidation of the residual assets. Madam Speaker, the Bank of Zambia is further facilitating necessary documentation for eligible members of staff to access their in-house pension. In addition, ZICB has taken up 16 of the former Invest Trust Bank branches and has recruited about 60 former Invest Trust members of staff. Madam Speaker, with regards to when the former employees will be paid, the Bank of Zambia intends to execute the liquidation and pay out obligations in line with the priority ranking provided in the Banking and Financial Services Amendment Act of 2020. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. This question is specific. We'll go to supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, do you have any?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I have a follow-up question to the Minister of Finance. Just to help the Minister of Finance, I know he's given an answer. Unfortunately, the answer has not responded to the question that I raised. The question that I raised relates to when former workers of Invest Trust will be paid. The answer that the Minister has given is talking about residual assets, meaning the timelines are unknown, meaning it will take time until we reach a stage where the bank now feels we have a bit of money remaining, now we are going to pay our former workers at Invest Trust. So the timelines, Madam Speaker, have not been specified, and I thought that my question was very specific. So my first follow-up question, when will the workers be paid? Because we are now in the month of August. August has got 30 days, so is it in the next 30 days? Is it in the month of, which month is following? Is it September? Is it October? There must be information, Minister, that should be given to the members of the public that used to work for this particular institution. That will be my first follow-up question, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable. You are able to specify the time to say, I'll pay you on this date, because you are sitting on a pot of money available for you to make a payment. In this particular case, there is no pot of money Yet, that will enable Bank of Zambia to say, on this particular day, I will pay your former employees. The first task, or the task that the Bank of Zambia is undertaking, is to go to the people borrowed. Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, pay. The payments are made, and when the payments are made, the pot is created. At that point, the bank can say, where we are now, there's so much money that is coming in the pot, can we now make payments? And the payment priority is in accordance with the law. Secured depositors first, so depositors first, and then followed by other creditors or other claimants, but the order of priority is clearly stated in the law, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Usakiedi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to ask a question. Honorable Minister, intermarket bank workers and DBZ former workers, immediately they were declared redundant, they were paid. And according to the redundancy letters issued to investors workers are indicating that they will prioritize the creditors. How different are they, or which law were applied? Do we have a different law which was applied? Because in these letters and what happened to these other two banks, immediately workers were declared, is different. And again, would you be kind enough to declare, to tell this House and the nation what is the order of priority that is in the Banking and Finance Management Act? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The law applied is the same. And obviously, I want to say that in this particular case, the first priority, when money is realized, the first priority goes to the people who deposited money in the bank. If you deposit in the bank, you put your money in the bank with the faith that I'm putting my money in the bank, not under the pillow, not with a relative. I'm putting it in the bank because I feel secure when I put money in the bank. So it is only right that when cash is realized, the first people to be considered are the depositors. So there is no difference in terms of how these things are handled. It is always handled that way. So the order of priorities, number one, depositors. There may be those covered by an insurance scheme. They even get higher priority. There may be those who are not under an insurance scheme. But depositors in general are priority number one. Priority number two is taxes and rates. Priority number three, that's where it comes to wages and salaries of employees of the financial service provider, excluding executive employees, senior management, and other categories of staff in that bank that the Bank of Zambia may determine for a period of 3 months. Next is charges and assessments due to the bank. Lastly, other claims against the financial service provider in such an order of priority as the court may determine on the application of the bank. So we are following the law, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lundazi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving a chance to the people of Lundazi to make a follow-up question. to the Honorable Minister of Finance concerning Invest Trust workers. Honorable Minister, in your response, you have indicated that 16 out of the 19 branches for Invest Trust have been taken up by ZICB. This does not look like a takeover, it looks like a merger. Honorable Minister, why are the workers not being cleared or not being taken up by the bank? Especially that they have taken over 16 of the 19 branches, which is almost 89% of what the bank has. I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning, although now that is an expanded question.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Honorable, I think you missed me. In my statement, I said that because 16 branches have been retained, 60 employees of the old bank have been rehired. And this is the number that had been determined for viability. In other words, by ZICB taking over this bank, they have to be mindful of the fact that in taking over, ZICB itself does not become compromised. So if ZICB ends up taking up all the employees that were there, the question is, will ZICB be able to pay the salaries? So obviously, in their determination, they could only take 60 together with the 16 branches, because in that way, they are sure that they will be able to pay the salaries. The business of the bank will not go down, so that we don't have now two banks falling down. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Kamfinsa. Do you have another question?
Madam Speaker, yes, I do. I wanted to find out from the Minister of Finance. In your response, you've indicated what law was applied for Bank of Zambia to take over. You are aware that if one financial institution, in this case ZICB, is assuming 16 branches, it's definitely a commercial transaction. There must be money involved. There's something that has happened. You can't just assume that one bank has taken over the other one. And I'm sure there was some money involved, there was some resources involved. Is it not possible to utilize those resources that were actually secured to immediately pay the workers at Invest Trust Bank? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Yes, Madam Speaker, this was a financial transaction, and the way it works is that ZICB takes over certain assets, certain good assets. By assets, we mean loans that were in the books of Invest Trust. So it's not as if ZICB received cash. No. They just received assets, performing assets or loans that are good, which means that every month, or whatever was agreed upon, these people owed Invest Trust. They'll be paying their loans, paying their loans, paying their loans. So no huge cash was given to Invest Trust. In exchange for that, Invest Trust also assumed liabilities, certain liabilities from Invest Trust. ZICB assumed liabilities from Invest Trust, meaning that customers' deposits, which used to belong to Invest Trust, now have shifted to ZICB. So the way it works now, as those loans that they acquired, as those loans acquired by ZICB, as they get serviced, that's the cash now that becomes available to be able to service depositors, those who want to withdraw their money. So therefore, from this explanation, you can see that there was no pot of money that was made available to ZICB to pay the workers, former workers. And colleagues, let me also add, this law that determines this priority, this law is not the making of the UPND government. As you heard, this is a law that was amended in 2020 under the PF government. So it is the PF government, and of course I agree with them, that said, if a bank goes down, the first people to be paid are the depositors, and then the rank follows. So this is something that you yourself, as a former PF government, you put in place. Okay? This is something that you put in place. So please don't skin me, because this is something that you put in place. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think we can make progress. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The Honorable Member for Pemba.
Question 412 on behalf of the good people of Mpongwe, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we have, the question 411 was, will government pay terminal benefits for the 350 employees? The government said yes, they will pay. When? It will be in accordance with the law. So what other questions do we need to ask? The question was straightforward. That's why I'm moving to the next one. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Gregory Ngowani, Member of Parliament for Mpongwe constituency, asked the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security the following questions. A, whether the government has any plans to construct a correctional facility in Mpongwe district. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. And C, what the estimated cost of the project is. Madam Speaker, in responding to the questions asked by the Honourable Member, I wish to state as follows. A, the government has plans to construct a 480 capacity correctional facility in Mpongwe district. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security has embarked on infrastructure development in the Zambia Correctional Service in order to provide humane custodial services to inmates and to decongest correctional centers. There are plans to construct ultra-modern correctional centers across the country. To this effect, the correctional center in Mpongwe district will be implemented when funds are made available. B, the plans to construct a correctional center in Mpongwe district will be implemented when funds are made available. C, the cost of constructing a modern correctional facility with 480 inmates holding capacity in Mpongwe district is estimated at 28,200,000 kwacha. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honourable Member for Pemba.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you so very much for the response. That actually satisfies the good people of Mpongwe. But then we would like to know whether this the construction will also include the staff houses for the officers.
The Honourable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whenever we build a new facility, like the one we intend to build for Mpongwe, there will be staff houses.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Namwala.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Through you to the Minister. Minister, in your submission, you indicated that there's an intention to construct these traditional collection centers across the country. Is it possible for you to mention some of the points or districts where these things will be constructed from? I submit.
That is now expanding the question. But since the Honourable Minister gave up the answer, maybe if he can, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'm not in a position to outrightly indicate the districts, but in future I'll be able to come back and give a list of the districts where correctional facilities will be constructed.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Pemba.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, I would like to bring to your attention that the good people of Mpongwe constituency are in their need of this facility. This is because of the distance that is covered, which is about 65 kilometers from Mpongwe to Rwansha. And you may recall that at one time there was an accident that happened as a result of transporting these suspects to the court in a court appearance in Rwansha. Now, what immediate measures would you consider for the good people of Mpongwe constituency, since we are still have to look for resources to construct this facility? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I have indicated that we have plans to construct a facility in Mpongwe. In the interim, we are going to be using the system which we have been utilizing for a long time now of transporting inmates from Mpongwe to Rwansha. As you may be aware, at least for the time being, we have transport, modern transport, which we'll be using to transport inmates to Rwansha. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Well, I was going to move to the next, but Honorable Member for Mitete, I hope we are not talking about Katunda Road. The Honorable Member for Mitete.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, I thought that you would encourage us, more so the new districts, that will collaborate or maybe meet halfway to put up these facilities using your ministry and CDF. Can't we meet half CDF, half the ministry going forward? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I would like to appreciate the hard-working Member of Parliament for Mitete, who has offered that CDF is available to contribute towards the construction of a correctional facility. What I can encourage him to do is to indicate to us that they are ready and able to start. We will provide the labor, Madam Speaker. As you may have noticed of late, the chief's palaces are being constructed by the Zambia Correctional Service. We have the capacity. We are willing to collaborate with you. We accept the offer, Honorable Member of Parliament for Mitete.
Thank you. On that note, just an observation. I'm just wondering why the Honorable Member from Mpongwe was not able to ask this question on his own. He's got a right to ask questions, and he's also got a right to debate. So he doesn't need to speak through the Honorable Member for Pemba. I saw him going out. He was here, but he went out. I think he was worried about what is happening on the right. Where are all the members on the right? All their committees. This committee thing also. Okay, let's make a progress. Notes of motion, the Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg that I move that this House adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 for the third session of the 13th National Assembly laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 31st July
Order. As the time is 10:40, I suspend business for 20 minutes for health break.
Thank you very much for still being with us on the Parliament Television. The House has gone on a 20 minutes health break, and just before they went on break, Honorable Member of Parliament for Siavonga, Mr. Darius Mulunda, was just moving a motion in which he wants to urge the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year 31st December 2022 for the third session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday 31st July 2024. So when the House resumes at 11 hours, business is expected to resume from this motion.
Yes, and when business resumed at 09 hours, Madam Speaker did make one announcement. Madam Speaker recognized that the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Ndaveni Academy School from Avonde or Lusaka District. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
And there was a motion that was moved by Her Honor the Vice President to suspend standing orders. The standing orders 26(1) and 55 of the National Assembly Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable His Excellency General Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024.
After that, the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security made a statement on the ongoing investigations in the murder of the Director General of the Independent Broadcasting Authority. And so far on the order paper, the House has considered one question for oral answer under Standing Order 82 and one question for oral answer under Standing Order 80. And so this is just business that has been considered so far for today on the order paper. Just now we go on a break. Remember, business of the House resumes at 11 hours. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.